Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Halfway through the week, depending on your schedule. Hope all is well with you today and that the week is treating you oh so well. Let us get a topic for today. I'm using the wisdom of the oracle again, and we have peace. Peace. We've had this card like recently, and uh, honestly, there has been a lack of peace, I think, for most people since 2020. There's been so much upheaval, so much uncertainty, so much instability on so many fronts. And when we think about actually creating peace in our lives, that is something that has to happen in here. The only way we are truly going to find peace is within ourselves. And a part of that is becoming so solid in our trust in the universe, our trust in ourselves, that we are going to do right by ourselves. Like, we're going to do ourselves right. And we're not going to allow the people around us to dictate, damage, abuse anything about our lives. When we are in a place where we know we can't control our environment, we can't control other people, we can't control what's happening in the world. What we can control is our perception of things, how we respond to things, and how we allow our environment to treat us. That comes from a place of personal power. So many times we lose our peace over the things around us only because we're involved in stuff we shouldn't be. We're taking on problems that aren't ours. We're allowing behavior from other people that insults our soul. And of course we're not going to be at peace when we're allowing things into our lives that take away our peace. This is a time where I feel that all of this chaos in the outer world, in the environment around us, the push, the lesson, what we're supposed to learn from that is to stand up and say, no more. It's time to draw that line in the sand. We have become so weak in our boundaries, in our personal boundaries, in protecting our personal privacy, our space, our decisions, our, you know, with, and this is my personal opinion. I know a lot of people agree with me, some will disagree, but being old school, didn't have a smartphone, didn't have Facebook, didn't have, we didn't have access to internet in our home until I had moved out on my own. So these are not things that were a part of my day to day growing up. So I know way back that wasn't such an issue because there was a respect of privacy, a respect of boundaries. We didn't tell everybody everything about us. Like, look, this is what I'm having for dinner. I took a shit. I went to the grocery store. I bought a car. My dog farted. Like, what? Calm down. Calm down. No one needs a play by play of your life. And that's become so normal now that when you choose to maintain privacy, you don't post all your bullshit on social media. People don't know what's going on with you. They're disturbed, like irritated, as if there's a right for them to know everything that's going on in your life just because Jimmy down the road posts everything he does. And because so many people do, it's become an assumption that I can just ask you anything about your life and you're supposed to tell me. Or, I love this one. There's a tendency of entitlement, um, not across the board, but more so now than what I remember there being, where you owe me because this is what I want, in the sense of, I am so upset that you didn't do this thing. I asked you to come and you didn't even show up. Okay, and that would be your perspective from what's happening in your life. You don't know what's going on in my life, so you demanding an explanation of why I didn't show up for some shit? No. 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 You take your issues back to you, put them back in your suitcase because they're not mine, and I don't owe you shit of an explanation. You assumed that because you were available, I would jump and run and be there. You don't know what I got going on. And I don't know about y'all, but you respond to me like that, I'm probably not going to answer your text ever again. Do not demand my time, my attention, my resources. That's where we lose our peace, is that lack of boundaries and allowing that kind of nonsense into our lives from people who just really need to grow up. And honestly, the best thing that you can do for people like that is to give them the space to grow up. When we adopt their issues and we take responsibility for their emotions and we take responsibility for their problems, we are robbing them of the ability to grow. And where, in a lot of ways, we've been taught that we should help. And the best thing you can do is be an example. Be an example by how you live, how you maintain. You can explain to people if you choose to, because we never owe someone an explanation why you're not helping. And trust me, they won't take it well. If they do truly need to grow and they have entitlement issues or victim mentality, or when you say you're not going to help, they are butthurt and they will probably badmouth you to all kinds of people. However, whether or not you give that any weight is your choice. There again, maintaining your peace, because my personal feeling on that is, just because someone speaks words doesn't mean that I have to give them any value. You can share your opinion of me with me, and I can dismiss it because I know me better. And without explaining to you why I'm not that asshole, I know in my heart what my intentions are, the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm okay with that. And when I talk about not owing someone an explanation, I love the saying, to argue with a fool only proves that there are two. By trying to reason and rationalize with someone who is not in a space where they are able to see, understand, appreciate, respect what you're saying, you are just wasting your breath. You might as well argue with a dog. You know, maintain your peace. Do not give away your peace over petty things. It means too much. And if you look at this, the card, so there's the dove with the olive branch over an egg. And when I look at this card, what, in my mind, the shell of the egg is to protect the chick inside that's forming. Now, obviously, most of our eggs anymore don't have chicks inside them because we're buying them to eat as eggs, and nobody wants to crack one open and find a half baked chicken in their egg. But the idea being, there is life, new life inside this egg. It's vulnerable and it needs to be protected. This is you and your peace. Your peace is vulnerable to outside influence. You've got to keep that shell around the things that matter to you. Protect with boundaries, and not soft boundaries, hard boundaries. Because that hard shell on the outside of the egg is what keeps that embryo chicken safe until it's ready to hatch. That goes for our projects, our aspirations, our dreams, our goals, what we're growing and working on and building, our shadow work. You don't put that shit on Facebook. You look like a lunatic. Have you ever seen the people? I get it. When you're emotional, you want to be heard and validated. You don't need every friend that you have on Facebook hearing and validating you sorting through your shit, because those are ugly times that not everyone needs to see. Or I had a friend, God love her, she misunderstood how to use Facebook Messenger. So she put a post on Facebook explaining how she really didn't love her husband. She thought she was messaging her friend. This social media can go so wrong. But about protecting your peace, she basically posted about how she had fallen out of love with her husband. There was someone else that she was interested in. She didn't know how to tell him. Well, girlfriend, you just told like 500 people. I'm pretty sure you've got that covered now. Like, watch, talk about stealing your peace. Imagine that conversation, right? Protect the things in your life that are vulnerable. She may have just been having a moment, and it would have passed and their marriage could have proceeded without issue. Trust me, after you tell 500 people how much you can't stand your husband anymore, it's over. That's hard to come back from. Protect your peace. Keep your privacy. Keep your boundaries. Keep that egg. Wow. So, talk about synchronicities. Two of the kitties just joined me yesterday here at the new place, and one was protecting her boundaries because I don't know what I was thinking. I only got one little cat bed. My bad, because there's an entire house, but one little enclosed cat bed, thinking that it wouldn't be that big of a deal. So one of the cats was protecting their boundaries by saying, "Get away, I'm in the cat bed." And then Miley comes running in to break it up and take care of it because she thinks she's the cat police. However, side note, just boundaries. Boundaries are important. They are important to your peace, and you will find when you stop allowing bullshit, raise your standards. If someone's behavior is not up to your standards, if you are not being treated in the way that you know that you deserve to be treated, raise your standards. Let it be known. I deserve this. You either will meet me here, or you can stay here and I'll move on. Correct your behavior. I deserve peace. I deserve what I have proven my value to be to myself. If you don't recognize that, then we're not going to be able to continue to have this interaction, have this relationship, have this attachment, whatever the situation, friend, employer, romantic. I know my value. And if you don't see it, that's fine. I'm not going to try to prove it to you. I know what I deserve. I know what my value is. And if you don't see that, you don't appreciate that, you can't feel that, then we're wasting our time here. You now have your peace back because there's no longer this relationship where you feel like, what the fuck is wrong with them? Why are they treating me this way when I've done this, this, and this? That this is not balanced. Libra full moon, the scales. There's a lot of karmic balance coming into play right now. A big theme of this full moon that happened on the 12th or the 13th, depending on where you live, endings of things that were not equal. There was not equal reciprocity. There was not return on investment. So it ends. And or there's an awakening that, holy shit, if I don't get it together, this is done. I need to step up. Awareness, awakenings. So I would expect over the course of the next few weeks, especially with all the planets going direct, we're going to see a lot of corrections in that regard. Um, if it doesn't impact you directly, just watching your friend group, in your community, just probably going to be a lot of changes. So, but if you want to go the distance, like we talked about on Monday, you are going to have to protect your peace. Know that what you do, what you believe, everything about you is yours. It cannot be taken from you. If you don't put it out there, no one can attack it. If you don't publicize every thought, every action, everything, it's still yours. You get a lot less feedback if you don't put everything out there. And when we're in a vulnerable position or we're working through things or we're trying to develop things, the less you put it out there, the safer it is. It's like that little chicken that's forming in the egg. If you crack the egg, that sucker's probably not going to make it. It needs that protection. It needs that time to develop, to get strong before it gets thrown out there into the world. So think about that with the things in your life they're still vulnerable. It may be your heart. It may be new behaviors. It may be new habits, new things that you're trying to do. Keep it quiet. Keep it in the egg. Work on it. Don't put it out there until it's stronger. So I do hope this helps. Thank you so much for joining me today. I do wish you peace as the ultimate reward for all of the work that we do on ourselves. Learning how to set the boundaries to protect that is priceless. So thank you for joining me today, and I will talk to you soon.